long trip up here. It's been a good trip so far though. I wasn't originally intending to come to the shelter today, but I got that tarp left up there, so I guess that's where we're headed. It's been raining non-stop and today has been beautiful, so I had to get out. I had no intentions of coming out today. And we're heading on up. I'm not sure what the plan is today. Got a bit of food, but for now, just enjoying the weather. It's only supposed to be like 7 or 8 degrees, but it's got to be warmer than that, especially here in the sun. I got the tarp left up there, so I had to go back up today. I want to go on a trip pretty soon, so I had to go get the tarp. I got a new one ordered, but I don't think I'm going to get it in time. I don't want to wait for that tarp to go on a new trip, so. Lots of beard here. That's an easy fire. Can't get a steady shot of this because if I went in there first, then I'd kind of ruin it. But we're here. Let's see what the shelter looks like. Through all these bushes, everything seems to be still standing. Yeah, it's looking good. Everything is actually just as I left it. Check on the tarp. Perfect. Never got tore up, it's not fell down at all. Just need the saw and some gloves for now. So I think my plan for today is to build a table first. John was talking about building a spot to put my wood in. So my plan is to build a table and then put the wood under the table. So that'll be 2 in 1. My first objective is to just cut a bunch of wood though. So we got something to build with. plan for the table is basically 2 sawhorses and then logs in between them. So I got the first set of legs set up there. All I did is 2 logs, you cross them together, and I've been marking like that basically with saw. I'll cut in a bit and then I'll chop it out with the axe on both logs and then just tie them together, and that makes it pretty solid. Alright, so it's marked. And just cut them a little more in on an angle. Same thing with the top. And I'm also just going to cut in here to make it easier to split out. Not necessary, but this just speeds up the process. Especially when you got a blunt axe like mine. Grab the hatchet. We don't want to get rid of too much because you'll take away the structure of it, especially when it's rotten like this, but it's only a table. Now onto the other one. And he'll just go across like that. He slides right in. So now again, you just take your saw, mark one side, mark the other side, cut them in on an angle, and there you go. They lock right together. Now we'll get a length of rope. I would be using twine for this, but all I have is paracord. Paracord is definitely overkill. And I'm no expert on knots by no means. All I'm doing is the standard double half hitch. All I'm doing to tie them together is just a double half hitch to start. And then start wrapping. We're going to come around vertically and then I'm going to tie it off up there. So now I'm not expert, but like that's going to hold. Where do I want the table? Across here. So that's basically it. So this is what I'm going for basically. The only other thing to add now is a cross brace in between to keep this from swaying back and forth. But first of all, I'm going to get the other, this is just one end, make another one exactly like this. Obviously I'm going to cut off that stick that's hanging off there. Make another one just like this, and that'll be the 2 ends of the table, and there'll be logs across. It should be more than strong enough. You'd sleep on that if you wanted to. Alright, so we're getting there on the table. Got the 2 ends done, 2 logs thrown across. I'm just going to cut the ends off those there now. Like I said, I want diagonal pieces coming from there to there on one side, then the opposite way on the other side, and same thing on this end, just for support. But first I want to get it all put together, make sure it's all settled into place, especially with the soft mossy ground there. I'm also, the way it's set up here now, it's all laid up against trees and stuff, so that I can just tie it directly to the trees to give it some support that way as well. So, but like I said, I'm going to cut the ends off here now. The back is going to be basically flush, but the front I'm going to leave a little tiny bit of an overhang. So that's the table now. Got a bunch of logs shoved across. I ended up having to cut off the top there, and I'll end up having to cut those ones off as well once I get far enough, but we'll see. That's all the logs that I've got cut up here. The sun's gone behind the clouds now. It's been really warm up until just a couple minutes ago when the sun disappeared, but my plan for now is actually to cook some dinner. Then after dinner I'm going to see what else I can get done on the table there. But I guess let's get the fire going first, and I'll probably cut some more wood while the fire burns down a bit. I've had a few comments about my fires and using old man's beard and stuff. I plan on trying out other methods. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I plan on trying out other methods. But with the gear I got right now, this is all I have. Beach got a nice knife and ferro rod combo, so I think I'm going to, next time me and him go out, I might see if I can get a feather stick and do all the normal bushcrafty stuff and get a fire going that way. But for today, I got a bunch of dry old man's beard. Burns really good when it's dry. Burns pretty good when it's wet even. So I'm just going to throw all that on there, and that's going to be our fire today. Shouldn't have no troubles there. Having a little bit of trouble though. Things are still a bit wet. You can see all the steam coming up off there. It's been raining for like a week, but today has been nice, so. Get a bit of heat going in there and she'll burn just fine. Burn the hot stick. It's really not hard to get a fire going at all. Fuel, oxygen, and heat. Always have oxygen. Fuel is there. The heat is your only issue. You gotta get the heat to the fuel. water is going to steal away all your heat. Water takes a lot of energy to heat up itself. It also takes a lot of energy to convert from water to gas, so from liquid to gas. I mentioned once the steam gets up there, it's taking the place of the oxygen, so then you're losing out your oxygen as well. So the water is a big killer there for a couple of different reasons. But if you get enough fuel in there, keep the heat inside the fuel, let the steam get out, you'll always have a fire. Very soon I'm going to try the feather stick method, like I said. I want to try a bunch of different methods as well, solar, and I want to try bow drill fire and stuff like that. I've never tried any of that stuff, so something interesting to try for the first time. So that's it for the table there. Gonna put a few more on the front as well eventually, but I'm gonna put those braces in first. But I think I'm gonna say that's it for this trip. See how she settles into place, see how the wind treats her and everything. Might just be down in the pile when I come back next time, but I doubt it. And next time I'm gonna see if I can get some twine or something. I can't build it all out of paracord, it's just a complete waste of the paracord. But I'm gonna see if I can get something cheaper. But yeah, that's basically it for now. The fire is burning down. So the plan for now is to get on the cook. Alright, let's put this table to use. Got a frying pan. And to eat, what I brought is some breakfast sausage. It's after thawing out now, which is good. And I'm just gonna make a sandwich out of it. I brought a couple slices of bread, a slice of cheese, and some grated cheese as well. Doesn't cut very well when it's thawed out. But that should be good. I'll go throw that on the fire. Frying some pork sausage, toasting some bread. We're getting there now. Got one slice of toast toasted, cheese is there trying to melt a bit. Got this guy on the lazy toast, and the pork is basically done. A bit behind on the toast. That smells so good. Nothing to go with it today, it's just a little sandwich. Fire's down to nothing but coals, but this is it for the fire now anyway. Lots of ashes on my sandwich, but that won't hurt. We really go on the power cook now. Oh yeah, that's a power cook. That's it for that sausage. I'm gonna try putting a little bit of that cheese. It's gonna make a mess, but melt that cheese in onto that. Whoa, the stick's catching on fire. Oh, that looks good there. Cheese is melting right in. Alright, let's go over to the table. Alright. Nice hot pork. Really hot, of course. Oh, look at that cheese. Here goes all my cheese. Here we go. And I'm actually going to put it back on. I'm going to use a bit of the beard. This sandwich is going back on to melt a little bit better. And there we have it. Oh, the cheese is Falling out everywhere. The pork is falling out everywhere. It's a little bit too much bread for what I have here. That is some good. Let's do a quick test before I go. Solid. Like a rock. So yeah, the table's done. Dinner's done. Gonna put the fire out there now. The extra sticks I got shoved up on top, I'm gonna cut those off before I leave. But that's gonna be it for this trip. I have no intention of staying here tonight. I want to get back so I can get on another trip pretty soon. Either me and Beach are going on a trip, or I'm gonna go out myself on an overnighter. Stay tuned for that. I always appreciate the subscribes and stuff. There's gonna be a lot more, so if you want to see more, certainly subscribe. I always appreciate you clicking the like button. But most of all, like always, comments. Let me know what you think here. Any suggestions and stuff. Like I was saying about the wood pile there, John, I'm going to put it underneath the table. And I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm either just going to lay a couple logs, basically like the beds are, and so we can stack it on top of the logs that way, or I'll tie something onto those legs from the table to keep it elevated that way. Maybe even notch them, we'll see. I wanted to elevate it off the moss for sure. I want something to cover it up with as well, but I believe I'm just going to use birch bark or something. I'll have to go around and see if I can find a birch tree on my travels and salvage some of the bark. Almost packed up there now, but this time I'm not going to forget this guy. Even though, like I said, I've got a replacement on the way. A much better one. But I'll take him. I might need him on the next trip.